Hi, I'm Kenny Anderson, Director of Multicultural Affairs for the City of Huntsville, and welcome to Impact. Each week we bring you information about exciting things that are happening in our community, and today will be no different. You know, we try to think about ourselves occasionally as a groundbreaking show, and today we're breaking some ground with a very special set of guests on the set today. Joining me today is Curt Cearley. He is Executive Director and Master Falconer with an organization called Rise Raptor Project, Inc. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you, Kenny. Glad to be here.
And you have Raptor Handler with you. She is Robin and Harris, I'm sorry.
That's right.
Good to have you on the broadcast.
Thank you for having us.
And you guys have brought a very special guest on the show today. I understand his name is Maximus. Mm-hmm. Tell us about who Maximus is.
Well, Maximus is a Eurasian eagle owl. He belongs to a group of birds known as raptors, or birds of prey. And we at Rise Raptor Project, as the name suggests, we work with some of the most powerful birds on the planet. At Rise Raptor Project, one of our goals is to engage the public in principles of good stewardship, environmental conservation, history, culture, by connecting with the most powerful birds in the world. So the raptors encompass the group of birds that a lot of people recognize are bald eagle is a raptor, hawks, falcons, osprey, vultures, condors, and of course owls.
Yeah, all very strong birds and very distinguished birds as well. So tell me a little bit, first of all, about what Rise Raptor Project, Inc. is. I know you're a 501c3. Why do you exist?
Well, it's interesting. We exist by public request is the number one answer. People are fascinated with birds of prey. If you look through thousands of years of culture, history, if you look at ancient Egypt, we have the falcon gods Horus. You think about the medieval knights practicing falconry, which was a prestigious thing. Go over to Japan, they were very well versed in falconry. So there's and then of course in 1782, one of the most famous raptors for us, the bald eagle, became the symbol of the United States. So people have long had an interest in these birds, and I'm no exception. I've had an interest. I've been working over 20 years with these birds in various capacities, and we've been in Huntsville. I've personally been in Huntsville since 2003. And when I moved here, I was just practicing falconry on my own, and people would find out I do this. People ask me to come do programs and different things, and it's been nonstop without any way to get a hold of me, any phone numbers. We were doing 30 to 40 programs a year, wow, which is the reason, one of the motivations for forming Rise Raptor Project in 2013.
Yeah. How did you personally get so engaged in this process?
It's interesting. Maybe it's something you're born with. As a kid, a lot of times we talk about people stuck to phones and devices. Of course, we grew up in an era that, at least I grew up in an era where our entertainment was riding bikes, going in creeks, fishing, reading books, going to libraries, whatever. And I always had a fascination with birds. I'd always draw them. I'm a terrible artist, but I tried. In my college years, I had a very interesting opportunity to volunteer with the World Bird Sanctuary in St. Louis, Missouri, one of the premier organizations dedicated to education, environmental preservation. I spent 5 years there and was mentored by some of the greatest conservation-minded folks. And that's where I learned how to do education, handle these birds, care for them. It's a specialty. You just don't go up, whether it's a goldfish, an earthworm, a bird, or a dog, you just don't go take something and just stick it, and stick it in the side, bring it out in the weekends for people to look at. That's not what we're about. So I spent 5 years in preparation, and it was good preparation, so when I had the opportunity to do it on my own, I was ready to do it.
Yeah. Robin, what's it like to be a falcon handler? You're just kind of sitting there holding Maximus. He seems to be just kind of chilling on your arm over there. What's that like?
It's pretty amazing. I've always had a fascination with birds, and when I met Curt through horses,
Horses and birds.
Yes, horses and birds. I deal a lot with horses, and we were able to put the two together, and he's taught me everything I know. But it's fascinating.
Yeah.
I love it.
And he seems to just be taking it easy right there. Is that just his common?
It is.
Posture?
Now, the birds we work with are not domesticated. These are wild birds, and I should mention that to have these birds in captivity, we have some other birds as well. Require special training as well as special licensing from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and the state of Alabama. So there's some extra qualifications, but. These guys, a lot of education birds are birds that have been injured by many different ways, and that some of them may be suitable for education and training. Maximus here in particular was raised in captivity. Since he's a non-native species, he's Eurasian eagle owl. Eurasia stands for Europe, Asia, where he's from. Eagles for the largest owl in the world, and of course he's an owl. But he was raised in captivity, and I had a very unique opportunity to bring him on board as a chick and raise him in an education environment so people would be able to experience something that they would normally never be able to experience up close. And that's one of the things we try to do is get people engaged in what is outside of our phones, our screens, our buildings, and our environment, as well as to learn how to be good stewards of our environment. A lot of people don't realize that the world that they live in is our world too, and seems to be forgotten in many cases.
Yeah, I mean, you make such a great point. I remember being a kid, and although I lived on the Lower East Side of Manhattan in public housing, and we didn't have a chance to do a lot of things per se, like travel and stuff like that. One of the things my parents regularly did was take us to the zoo and the museum. And I mean, I was fascinated by those kinds of things, to see animals in captivity and to learn about them and see the various species. I remember I'm not much of an artist either when it comes to drawing, but I would kind of, pencil things out every now and then. And one of my favorite things to pencil out were animals of different kind. And so it is a pretty fascinating thing. And I think it is one of those lost arts in many ways. So I'm sure that the Raptor Project is absolutely essential in today's society as we think about enriching the experiences of people. And of course, you're involved in lots of educational initiatives. You said you do multiple ones. People are constantly demanding you. You're not doing a whole lot of advertising in the process. People are just kind of finding you. I know that you're also involved in a very interesting partnership that is being developed as you reach across the world. Tell us about what that is.
Yeah, that's a project that is still pretty early in the works, but it's a project involving another country to bring some very interesting birds housed here in Huntsville, which will involve different cultures and all that. And as we get, kind of go along in that process, we'll announce more of what's happening, but we're really excited about it. And any birds that we bring in, whether it's from overseas or here, and you made a good point about traveling to a zoo, all these birds travel to their programs. We're a traveling organization, so wherever somebody wants us to go, we'll go. And that really works out well because a lot of organizations, schools, or library programs don't have the funds to transport a large group of kids, but we can go to their facility and give whatever type of education program they want. We do multimedia stuff. If that's we do hands-on stuff. We got different feathers, feet. Some classes we do owl pellet dissection, which is a lot of kids in school know what that is. But an owl pellet is basically these are predatory birds. So one of the favorite foods of predators like this would be rats. So they regurgitate owl pellets, but owls in particular do not digest the bones or fur. So people can dissect those, the kids dissect those, but we also use that to teach good science, scientific discovery, about how do you study a you've got some evidence here of a population of owls. What can you make, what conclusions can you draw? So we try to get not just a show and tell, not just a bird show, but we would like to get kids looped into science, with the science, whatever it is, whether it's birds or something else, but to get them engaged in that process.
Yeah, and it just seems like Maximus perhaps has become just like part of the family now.
Yeah, he is in a way, but he's not. A lot of people say, oh, that's a cool pet you have. I want an owl. And I tell them that you don't. You know, you really don't. They
Why
make
is that?
terrible pets. Pardon?
Why is that?
Well, I mean, for one, they're wild animals, and you know, they require special care, which most people don't have.
Yeah, right.
And their main purpose, all the birds with us, their main purpose is education. They're to get out there, educate the public in different aspects. And I always tell people, if I couldn't do this or Rise couldn't exist, that they already have places that they would go to continue that education mission. So they're not just something you bring out on a weekend for an ego to show somebody. This is, their purpose is to engage the public.
Very specific purpose. What's the lifespan of a bird like this?
A bird like this could easily live 60 years in captivity, and anywhere from 20 to 30 in the wild. And the reason why that is because if they get sick, we can take them to specialized veterinarians. That's another thing. You know, there's not all that many veterinarians that are specialized to be able to handle these type of birds. And for example, I just had Maximus in for a checkup, so he gets regular checkups, blood work, and that just makes sure that he's healthy, and we owe it to him, to make sure that he's got the best life possible. So. And so it is a lot of work, but I enjoy doing it, and especially if people want us to come out, it makes it all the better.
So if people want to have you come out and talk to them about what you do in this educational arena, how would they reach out to you and get more information?
We have basically our website is www.riseraptor.org, and from there we have our contact page. They can learn more about us, me personally, the people involved, our programs, branch out to our Facebook page from our website, and they can find us there and just contact us from there.
Yeah. So you, Maximus, and Robin are available for personal appearances.
Well, and others, yeah. There's other folks involved. It started out as me, but Rise Raptor definitely can't exist with just me. So I luckily more folks are helping, and who knows, maybe we'll try a glove out on you, and maybe you could join us.
I'm anxious to do that. I promise before the end of 2017, I'm going to do it. Absolutely, I can't wait.
Excellent.
And
we'll do it.
We'll have the photos of that too. Great looking bird there. Want to thank you, Curt Cearley, for being here today. Curt, again, is Executive Director and Master Falconer of Rise Raptor Incorporated. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
And they are 501c3 once again, so there are lots of opportunities that people would have, of course, to provide support for the organization, and Curt would certainly not frown on that. Mm-hmm. Robin, thank you for being here today. You've done a great job of communicating your love for this process as well as handling old Maximus over there.
Thank you.
And Maximus, thank you. I know you can't speak to, I don't think you can speak to me.
Sometimes he will, sometimes he won't. I don't know. It's just if he's in the mood to it. Nothing personal.
Right. Maximus, thank you for being here and being a part of our broadcast today. I really appreciate you and the time that you've given to me on this broadcast. Thank you all. I want to thank you for a fun show today, folks. I'm just smiling and bubbling over with joy. Had a chance to meet Maximus over here and a couple of cool people, Curt and Robin. We hope that you'll check them out at Rise Raptor Inc. and get more information about the work that they're doing. It sounds like fabulous work right here in this community. The video that you just saw can be seen also on our Facebook page, which we hope you'll like. That's Impact with Kenny Anderson, where you can also see behind-the-scenes shots of what happens when the camera stops rolling. For Impact, I'm Kenny Anderson. Hope that you have a great day.